Hello and welcome. Nice to see you again. What do you think about this title, The Paradox of Loneliness? Was that enticing enough? Did it create some curiosity? What is that paradox of loneliness? If yes, then I succeeded in my goal. Thank you for being here. I'm talking about loneliness, and if you know me already, you know that I named my company AntiLoneliness. It is one of my uh, most passionate, let's say, missions to talk about loneliness. I want to bring more awareness about that topic. And actually, I just want to talk about the elephant in the room. We all feel lonely, but we don't dare to talk about it. We all feel lonely, but in this uh, highly connected technologically era that we are living, we don't dare to say that I don't feel connected. I don't have friends. I feel lonely. So you see that it's something that we think it's rare, but it's more common than we think. I just finished a video where I was explaining the different triggers, occasions, and cases where we feel lonely. And just out of one single brainstorm, I came by with 15 different triggers of loneliness. We feel lonely so many times in our life that I just figured out 15 different triggers of loneliness, and I can find even more. But I want to tell you that this is more common than we think that it is. So about loneliness, what is loneliness? Loneliness is the feeling that I'm not connected with the people around me. I'm not connected with my environment. I am disconnected. I feel different. I feel that I don't fit in here. And it's not necessarily somebody else's fault. It's the situation. It's the environment. It's when I feel that I don't fit in there. There's something too different between me and the other person or people around me. And there are many cases, of course, and many reasons for that. But when we're talking about loneliness, it is a painful emotion. We can never be happy for being lonely. And it's not about being alone. That's a different case. When we are alone, we can be connected, we can feel connected, but we can be surrounded by other people and still feel lonely. So, loneliness, it's a personal experience, it's an emotion that we feel that we are disconnected with the people around us. So, as I said before, loneliness is a painful experience, it's a painful feeling, and there's a reason behind that. Let me use an example. When you touch with your hand a hot surface, what happens is that you feel pain. It hurts, right? And then automatically there's a message sent to the brain of the pain, and automatically the action that you take is to remove your hand from the surface. So what happens there is you get notified that this is painful. You get notified also that there's something that I need to do in order for the pain to stop. The same thing with loneliness. We feel lonely and we feel the pain of loneliness so that we can take some action, so that we can understand that there's something missing here. And usually what's missing is connection, right? So we feel the pain, and then we understand that I feel pain, I feel lonely, which means loneliness is missing, which means connection is missing, not loneliness, which means connection is missing, which means that I have to try and find connection. Many possible ways, but we're going to talk about it in a different video. But there's a purpose, a function behind this pain. So far, these two examples with the hand and loneliness, they feel like they're the same, right? There's a painful stimuli, and then there's some understanding of where the pain is coming from, and then there's some action that we need to take in order for the pain to stop. However, the similarities finish here. With loneliness, we think that yes, indeed, some connection might heal me from this pain. True, but not always. And that's where the paradox starts. Our brain also understands that if I go out and I reach out to other people, it's also possible that I will get rejected. It's also possible that I will be betrayed. It's also possible that I will not feel as important as I want to feel, or as loved as I want to feel. And that hurts. So that's why I say the similarities stop here. In the case of loneliness, I feel lonely when I don't have connection around me, when I don't have meaningful connection around me. But the risk of feeling pain also, if I connect with other people, stops me from reaching out for connection. And that's the paradox. Instead of reaching out and finding connection, we are also possible to get trapped in this loneliness trap, because connection can also be risky, because connection can also feel painful. So it's as if I use the other example with a hand, it's as if you think that if I leave my hand here, I will get burned, but also if I remove it, I will also feel pain. If I put it under the water and try to cool it down, it will also be painful. So I'd rather leave it here getting burned. It's something like that, right? And why our brain compares these two pains, and then we usually find that it's better if we stay lonely, because one way or another, sometimes we can find a way to make peace with not having connection. But it feels as the pain of getting rejected and hurt and embarrassed and exposed is even bigger than the pain of being alone and feeling lonely. That's how it makes sense for some people. I prefer to make peace with my loneliness. I prefer to protect myself in my bubble than to go out there and risk losing everything and risk being hurt again and again. That's the paradox. It makes sense? No, that's why we call it paradox, right? So that's how it works with loneliness. And when we realize that we are doing that out of a self-protective mechanism, then it's easier for us to step out of this loneliness paradox and to reach out to other people. And even though it hurts, and even though it's risky, it doesn't always hurt, but we can make it hurt less. We can protect ourselves by choosing people who are there and who will reciprocate their feelings. We can set healthy boundaries. We can do many things so that we can protect ourselves. But knowing that whatever we do, of course, we're going to get rejected. Of course, because we also reject other people. If we understand that, then we can find a way to find connection and to bring it into our life, and without getting trapped into this paradox of loneliness. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was a good introduction to loneliness. I hope it gave you some insights. I'm looking forward to your comments, to your feedback. Let's talk again about loneliness. Let's see how we experience loneliness. Let's see the different versions of loneliness and our coping mechanisms with loneliness. But that's to follow. Thank you very much for being here. Have a look at my website, AntiLoneliness.com. In the blog section, I have a lot of articles about loneliness. And for sure, when we start talking more about loneliness, we are going to feel less lonely than before. I'm sure about that. Thank you for being here. Have a good day. Take good care of yourself.